Hello students. Today we are going to start chapter number 3, that is kinetic theory of gases and radiation. So before moving on to the main content of this chapter, first of all you should revise some basic concepts which you have learnt in your 11th standard. So there are some laws. Then the first law is Boyle's law. You need to refer your 11th standard books and the notes for all these laws. So you can say that at constant temperature for a fixed mass of gas, volume is inversely proportional to the pressure. Then you have Charles' law. Charles' law says that for a fixed mass of gas at constant pressure, volume is directly proportional to temperature. And the third one is Gay-Lussac's law. The Gay-Lussac's law, it states that at a constant volume, the pressure is directly proportional to temperature. So basically these are some laws which you should always remember. Then one more thing is your ideal gas equation. So according to your ideal gas equation, it can be stated like PV is equal to nRT, where N is equal to the mass of gas. You can say number of molecules, that is mass of gas upon the molar mass. So any gas which follows the ideal gas equation can be called as the ideal gas. Then ideal gas also, you can say that in an ideal gas the intermolecular interactions are absent. So there is one more concept which is called real gas. So any real gas cannot be totally ideal, because when you have a real gas there is some interaction between the molecules, and that's why we cannot call it as an ideal gas. But if the density of that real gas is very less, then it means that the gas molecules are placed very much far apart, and then we can consider it as an ideal gas. Then when you have a gas, suppose here various molecules are there inside the gas, and if you consider a single molecule, and if you trace the path of that molecule, now as there are many molecules inside this container, so obviously they collide with each other. So if you trace path of a particular molecule, it can be something like this or some other path also. So between, suppose molecule starts from here, collides with some other, and then again it changes its direction, collides with the other one, again it changes its direction. So due to collision its direction changes. So basically between two collisions only the molecule follows a straight line path. So in such case we define a term called as mean free path. So you can just say that mean free path, which is denoted by the letter lambda, is the distance, average distance covered by a molecule with constant velocity between two successive collisions. So it is average distance covered by a molecule with constant velocity between two successive collisions. Now this mean free path, it is inversely proportional to density. So obviously if density is more, mean free path is less, and vice versa. And this is also inversely proportional to size of the molecule. So the mean free path, it can be given by this formula, root 1 upon root 2 pi d square n by v, that is density. So this is the formula for mean free path. Now the next is that we will derive a formula for pressure of ideal gas. So first of all, consider n moles of an ideal gas enclosed inside a cubical box, and the walls of that box, they are kept at constant temperature. Suppose this is your x-axis, this is z-axis, and here it is a box. Consider a cubical box. The length of one side is L. Let this portion be the shaded one. I'll tell you why. Then suppose this is your z direction. Suppose this is the y direction. Okay. So you have a cubical box, and n moles of ideal gas are there inside the box, and the walls of the box are at constant temperature. Now the gas molecules inside this box, they move in random directions and obviously they collide with each other. So they collide with each other, and when they collide with the walls of the box, they bounce back from the walls. So suppose you can consider there is a typical molecule here V, typical molecule here, which is moving with some velocity V, you can say, and it is going to collide with this shaded wall. So this molecule V is going to collide with this shaded wall. Now this wall, it is parallel to the YZ plane. So this is your YZ plane, this is your YZ plane, and this wall is parallel to YZ plane. So as collision is elastic in this case, the x component of the velocity, it gets reversed. When this molecule collides with this wall, shaded wall, it bounces back. So this collision is elastic, so this x component of velocity gets reversed, whereas the y component and the z component, it does not change, that is, it is unaltered. Now during this whole process, there is some change in momentum taking place. There is some change in momentum taking place. This change in momentum, obviously, it will be in the x component only. So this change in momentum can be written as the final momentum, negative sign, because the velocity, the x component of velocity gets reversed, minus the initial momentum. Now this change in momentum can be written as minus 2mvx. So this is your change in momentum. Now you can say that the momentum which is transferred to the walls during the collision is plus 2mx. So the momentum transferred to the walls during the collision is plus 2mvx. Now when this molecule, it bounces back from the shaded wall, it then collides with the opposite wall. So when this molecule, it bounces back from the shaded wall, it then again collides with the opposite wall and gets bounced back. Now as the length of the side of the cubic cube is capital L, so we can say that the distance traveled by that molecule, the distance traveled by that molecule between two collisions is 2L, because it is getting bounced back again. So distance traveled by molecule between two collisions is 2L. Now the time which is required for the molecule to travel back and forth from the shaded wall, let it be equal to delta t, and that delta t you can write as 2L by Vx, as you know that it is distance upon speed. So 2L by Vx. Now we will see the average force exerted on the shaded wall by molecule 1. What? The average force exerted by shaded wall, exerted on shaded wall by molecule 1. This average force will be given as average rate of change of momentum. Average rate of change of momentum. So you can write average rate of change of momentum as 2m Vx divided by 2L by Vx, that is delta chi. So from where this came, as you know, one of the Newton's law is F is equal to minus dp by dt, right? So this equation has come from that, that is average force is average rate of change of momentum. So this is dp and this is your dt. So it comes from your Newton's second law. Now we had considered the first molecule. If we consider more molecules like molecule 2, 3, 4, so in such cases, now this equation 2 gets cancelled, Vx, this equation, it becomes m Vx by L. M Vx by Vx square by L. Vx goes up. So this average force which we have got mvx square L, mvx square by L, it can be written as, if we consider molecule 2, 3, 4 and more, then it will be written as m by L Vx1 square plus Vx2 square plus Vx3 square and so on. Now the average pressure you can write as P equal to average force divided by area of the shaded wall. Area of shaded wall, as pressure is force per unit area, so it is area of shaded wall. So you can write first you can write the force mvx1 square plus vx2 square and so on divided by L, and the area of the shaded wall will be L square. So this is one thing you got. The average of the square of x component, if you write it down, the average of the square of the x component, it can be written as vx1 square plus vx2 square plus vx3 square up to the nth molecule divided by the n. So from this equation you can write this as n into vx square. So your equation for pressure becomes m n into the average of the square of the x component of velocity divided by n, right? So divided by, now this L into L square is your L cube, so divided by volume V. So we can write V square is equal to Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square, and from symmetry it is said that Vx square is equal to Vy square is equal to Vz square is equal to 1 by 3 V square. So substituting that value here, you can write average pressure is 1 by 3 N by V M V square. So this is the formula for your pressure of an ideal gas. So quite a lengthy derivation, but if you do it step by step, it is easy to understand. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.